what was it, 2 weeks earlier? It was after the Rayshard Brooks and what happened at the Wendy's, and in that very neighborhood, you had people that had taken over another full city block there, and the mayor of Atlanta did nothing. That didn't have to happen. So whether it's Seattle, Chicago, New York City, Atlanta, or what do those four cities have in common? They've been run for decades by liberal Democrats. If you look at the cities with the most violence, the worst security, the least amount of safety, the worst school systems, they have one commonality. They've been run by liberal Democrats for decades. If you look at the states we're usually talking about, like New York, New Jersey, Illinois, if you look at California, and you look at Washington State and Oregon, worst educational system, they've been run by liberal Democrats on the state level for decades. And why haven't they solved these problems? And you know what? I'm going to preview of coming attractions. Because this is the modern, extreme, radical Democratic Party. Sanctuary cities, sanctuary states, open borders, amnesty, no bail laws, and defund the police. How's that going to end? You don't have to be an MIT, Harvard graduate to figure this out. It's not going to end well. Angie is in Arizona. Angie, we'll be watching you closely in 118 days.
I'm fine. How are you, Sean?
I'm good. Welcome aboard.
Okay. Well, thank you. As an African-American woman and a veteran of this beautiful country we are in, this Black Lives Matter movement has gone far beyond where it needs to be. I think they've lost their credibility. Also, you can't just pick and choose what issues you are going to focus on. You need to focus on the spectrum of every African American in the world, not just because of police brutality. Let's talk about black on black crime. Let's talk about black abortion. And let's talk about the abuse that African Americans give to themselves and how they treat one another. Can't say we're unified in a unity when we're not.
At some point, I just wonder, I keep going back to the record. Let's compare Biden and Barack's record to Donald Trump's record. Let's look at the 125 years of failure that is Schumer, Pelosi, Biden. He's vice president for 8 years. Well, we know his past positions on segregation and busing and integration, and we know his horrific comments about minorities and African Americans and other people. And then you go, all right, well, what did they do? Well, they ended 8 years of a presidency and a vice presidency. They barely mentioned Chicago. They didn't make any police reforms after Ferguson, after Baltimore. They did nothing after these high-profile incidents and others. Then you got to ask, 13 million more Americans on food stamps, 8 million more in poverty, and the lowest labor participation rate since the 70s. Worst recovery since the 40s. Okay, that's their record. Why didn't they make the commitment to historically black colleges the way Donald Trump has? Why didn't they do criminal justice reform? Why didn't they do police reforms? Why didn't they build opportunity zones? How is it Donald Trump in 3.5 years versus their 125 years was able to shatter month after month, record after record, low employment numbers for every minority community in the country? And he's going to do it again. Because already the economy's, literally snapping back as we had been hoping it would. And the numbers are far better than I thought they'd be at this time. And, why didn't they do it? What, we're gonna re-elect Biden? Why? So we can dump another $150 billion on the tarmac of Iranian mullahs chanting death to America? That's genius. It's unbelievable to me. Where's their heart? Where's their soul in all of this? Anyway, 800-941-SHOW if you want to be a part of the program. Hey, Angie, stay right there. I want you to say hi to Mac is in Utah. Mac, say hi to Angie in Arizona. Mac, apparently you're blaming the police as the problem. Tell me why.
Well, Sean, I'm glad you finally let me on.
Really glad I finally let you on. There's no,
I've been trying for a week.
I'm glad you're on.
Well, God bless that woman that you're just talking to, the guest that we're sharing the call with. But if you only live in the part of the country where I fled the Midwest. I'm just going to go ahead and name it, Chicago. Charles, you have this misconceived opinion that the police are the good guys. And I heard Rush Limbaugh this morning say the same thing. He's like, the police are the good guys. Why? We thought 90% of the black people were afraid to call the police, but we just took a survey, and the survey said it's just the opposite.
Who took a survey? What survey?
It was a conservative survey, according to Rush.
Okay, let me just give you an answer. Are you ready? Every big city that I'm talking about has majority-minority police forces. Did you know that?
Excuse me?
Every city that I've been mentioning has a majority-minority police force. Did you know that?
Yeah.
And you're saying to me, what percentage of the police do you think go to work every day hoping that they might be able to kill an African American or a minority? What percentage? Give me numbers.
Get ready, Anthony. Get ready.
I'm ready. Go.
I'm going to shock you.
You go ahead.
You come from a law enforcement family, so that's why you have this misconceived. But God, they come to the police force.
You didn't answer my question yet. What percentage of the police go to work every day hoping they can kill some innocent minority?
I don't know what specifically, what area, but I know about Chicago. I can tell you about Chicago.
Okay, tell me about Chicago. What percentage? Answer the question.
Probably about 60%.
60%. Now let's go through this. You're saying 60%. So you're pulling this out. So you believe 60% of cops want to go to work and kill an innocent member of their community. Now that has not been my experience.
I'm going to stop you right there, Anthony. I'm going to stop you right there.
Oh, you go ahead. You stop me. I'm waiting. What?
Okay, because they do. They have an unspoken, an unspoken
60%. Now, you're pulling these numbers out of thin air, but I can only tell you, and let me bring Angie back into the discussion.
Okay, go ahead.
In New York City, 97% of June shooting victims were minorities. All of July shooting victims, Angie, so far have been minorities. The police now are afraid to do their job, but most cops I know, just like I talked about...
They're not afraid to do their job, Hammy.
Excuse me.
No, there are people that are afraid of their jobs.
The ones who are afraid to do their job, those are the minorities.
I would rather the cops.
All right, let Angie answer. Angie, go ahead.